Hey everyone, my name is Jessica Schwartz. I'm going to do something a little different today. So I have actually, over the last 6 months, I have been learning how to put on makeup using YouTube tutorials. I've been watching everyone from Nikki Tutorials, Tati Westbrook, Nanya and Mue, really a lot, Sylvia Ghani. Like there's a lot of people that I really find interesting. I kind of watch a little bit of everyone, Emily Noel. I've seen a little bit of Pretty Pastel Please and Kathleen Lights, and it's just something that I really became fascinated with. See, I'm 32 and a half years old, and I've never really been a makeup wearer, and I've kind of always thought of it as art on your face, and as a writer, I like to think of what I do as art on the page, and so it's something that's always fascinated me, but I've just never known how to do it. So I've always just been kind of a mascara and go kind of girl, and now I've really been putting in a lot of time and energy into learning how to do makeup properly and what kind of products are best for me. And as of right now, I'm pretty much all drugstore all the time, because that's what's affordable and that's what's near me, and that's also what I can kind of play with to really actually get a little time to play with it and make sure it's what I want and that I'm getting the right colors for me. And so I wanted to do just a little tutorial of like tips and tricks of what a beginner has learned and what works for me. And so I kind of have this set up just at my dining table, and I wanted to go through my routine. It's not very long. I hope this video is not too long for you, but I just thought it would be interesting. And when I started on this journey, I was really doing a lot of trial and error. You know, I actually purchased and used for a while. I was using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation, and foundation actually looked great on me, and I was really happy with it, but it's also a little heavy for me personally. I don't really like to have a lot of things on my face. I'm not really a big fan of wearing full coverage foundation anyway, because I really don't mind my skin that much. So then I tried out the Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream by L'Oreal, and that has been working really well for me, whether I put it on with my hands or with a brush. And I also had to learn brushes. And so I have a mix. I have this adorable little thing I found at TJ Maxx, and he's a little cat. And it's a mix of Real Techniques and Eco Tools, and I think I have a Wet n Wild brush in here. So it's a little bit of a mix of brushes that I've tried and ones that I see, you know, finding what I like. So I'm gonna start just with my everyday routine. And my everyday, if I'm just having, you know, a day where I'm going out or I'm filming a video, I actually don't do a full face. And what I mean by that is I do pretty much everything except any foundation or BB cream. And so I'm gonna take off my glasses because I have to. And I'm gonna show you kind of what I do. I do go ahead and start with a primer, which I have a L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Primer. One of the beauty gurus did, pretty much all of them say that you should use primer, and one of them suggested this one, and I like it a lot. So I didn't really invest a lot in primers. I kind of picked this one and went with it. And the reason I like it is just because it's so smoothing and it dries really fast. I don't actually know if primer makes a big difference for me, but I figured it couldn't hurt to try. So the next thing I do, and don't come at me, is I take this Instant Age Rewind. It's, I believe, also, this is from Maybelline, and this is my concealer. And I actually go ahead and do the concealer. I don't know if you're catching this. I have a mirror right here. And I do the triangles kind of down by my nose, and I come up and I do a little bit in the center of the forehead, center of the nose, and chin. And then I take either a beauty blender, which I have a blue beauty blender right here, and I either take a beauty blender or a brush, and I just go ahead and pat that in. And what I'm doing here is just a very, I mean, it's a damp beauty blender, it's very lightweight, but I'm really just blending out the concealer, and I make sure to get the edges where I'm really blending it out into the rest of my skin, because the rest of my skin does not have anything on it. And so my skin by itself is, I think I have pretty normal or maybe combination skin, because I really don't get a lot of, I get some dryness sometimes, especially once it gets really cold. But in terms of my skin texture, it's normally pretty soft, and I'm very lucky I don't get a ton of blemishes, which is one of the reasons I've decided not to put in the BB cream or the foundation on a regular basis. So this is just concealer over normal concealer areas of your face. I'm really obviously did not do it too much with that. And then for me, my next step is I have, as many people say, I know Tati loves it and a lot of people love it. I did get the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and I was originally using this Wet n Wild contour brush, but it's really it's not very dense. And I found this Real Techniques contour brush that's like super dense, and I like it a lot. And so I don't pick up very much because I have kind of a small face and I don't like to overwhelm it, but I put on just a little bit, and I really don't even bring it down into the mouth. I really pull it up and leave it at the hollows of the cheeks, at the top of the face, and back by my ear. So you'll see that I'm just buffing it in, and I try to buff it in quite a bit because, again, I don't like it to be overwhelming. I really do tend to go for the more natural look when it comes to makeup, and that's just something that's a preference. I mean, I personally like to keep a more natural look just because I like to look nice, and especially when I'm doing days like this where I'm filming, I do like to look nice on camera, but I'm not a big fan of feeling like I'm wearing a lot of makeup. And that's literally all I do for bronzer. I know, it's not very much. And then I do, before I go in and do anything with the eyes or with any like highlighter or blush, I am gonna go ahead and set my face. I use this Revlon Color Stay. It is a translucent powder, and I really like the little puff it comes with. It's squishy. I think it sets powder on really well, and I literally just like pat it on my face so that the powder is setting the under eye, but it's just literally patted. So it's not a lot, and it's like super lightweight, so it's not really like in my way. And so once that is set and we've done the eyes, then I'll come back and do blush and highlight. But for now, I want to jump into the eyes. And for the eyes, I just have like a combination of brushes that I've kind of gotten from here and there. I have a Wet n Wild brush. I have some Eco Tools brush, a couple that came with some different things. And again, I'm really just learning and starting out. So one of my favorite palettes is the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air. I just absolutely love this palette. This was, I know it's like super simple, but this pink shade I just think it's beautiful. And although I will say the shimmers in this palette are not my favorite thing in the world, but with some setting spray on the brush, it does work better. So for eyeshadow primer, I have NYX Studio HD. Again, just like the regular primer, I got it because I was told I should, and I don't really, I think it does work better with the pigments, which is awesome, but I don't know if what I have is like a really, really good one or if it's, middle of the road. So it's just all kind of trial and error for me, which is kind of exciting, I think. So I take my fluffiest blending brush, which is this one. It is the biggest, fluffiest blending brush that I have outside of this Wet n Wild one, which I use for blending and buffing out the edges. And I try to do something super simple. I've learned to really start with the transition shade. That is, again, kind of so I'm starting with this top transition shade right here. And these are numbered. Wet n Wild, this is number 1. They're numbered, not named. And then I start in the edges, and I'll pull my little mirror up a little closer because I'm kind of blind without my glasses. But I start at the edge, and I do blend that in the crease. Now, I am not a master blender. This is something that I am learning. It is absolutely not something I am good at yet, but it's something that I am very much learning and trying to get better at as time goes by. And I have hooded eyes, obviously. So what I try to do is I keep my eyebrows up when I do it. That way I'm able to actually like see the crease and like the area right above the crease. And that's, this is a pretty color. This is a cool toned brown as a transition, and I'm gonna deepen that up. And actually what I plan to go in with, and it is number 7, but there's a deeper kind of orange brown. And this palette does pick up a lot of color. If I don't tap it off, it'll be all over my face. And I'm just gonna deepen in that crease a little more. And as you can see, that is a lot of pigmented color right there. So it does deepen in very easily. And I actually really like this color. I use this color all the time. I use this palette quite a bit. The other palette I have by Wet n Wild is Not a Basic Peach, which I think is a really beautiful palette. And so I just deepened the crease a little bit with that. I think it's a little uneven, so I need to fix that. Let's see. But I don't spend a lot of time blending. It's something that I'm still learning, so I am kind of figuring it out as I go and trying to make sure that it's not uneven or patchy and trying to learn. And I think that that's important. So now I'm gonna go in with a smaller kind of, just like a smaller, less fluffy blending brush. And I'm gonna take this pink that I love so much, and it is number 8 in here. Yeah, number 8 in the palette. And this is a really great color. You'll see it really does pick up a lot, and you'll see like it's gonna puff right off. So I'm gonna put this on the outer corner and the outer half of the lid. And I'm just actually trying to pat that in as well as blending the edges a little bit as I go. And it like pulls into the crease and the outer corner to give that definition. And then now, like I said, I have this nice fluffy Wet n Wild brush, and I'm actually gonna take that, there's no product on it, and I'm just gonna take that and buff out the edges a little tiny bit, which again, still learning, still figuring it out to see if this even makes a difference for me, but hopefully it does. And so once I do that, I am gonna take a slimmer little packing brush. It is an Eco Tools brush. So these are like the little double-ended ones, which I think is really neat. And I'm actually going to pick up, it's number 3, and I'm gonna pick up the gold shimmer. Now the gold shimmer, like I said, it is, the shimmers are not super impactful, but I do have setting spray. I have that Wet n Wild Photo Focus Natural Finish. I don't understand what these tick marks are for around the top. At first I thought it was like something you could like dial it in, but that clearly is not the case. And then I just spray a little bit on there and hope it works, hope for the best. So I go right into the edges, and it does work really well. Like that's why I do it. But again, like these are not gonna be like slap you in the face. And I'm gonna show you what I do when it's not slap you in the face and I want it to be, as soon as I put a layer down of this gold, which I really like. And one of the things that I've been testing is highlighters. It's something that I had to find a color that worked for me. I had to figure out what I liked about highlighters and what I was looking for in a highlighter. And it turns out that I really like highlighters and I want to have as much highlighter as possible. So I've been kind of collecting a couple of different ones and trying them. So I'm actually pretty happy with how this looks with the pink and the gold. And I'm just gonna put a little bit more pink and gold in there. Let's see. Let's get a little bit more gold. And now that the gold is laid down, I do want to take my little brush, get a little bit of pink on there, and go kind of blend out the edge and add a little more pink on the lid. Actually, as I have a couple of different highlighters, and I especially have these 2 by Wet n Wild. I have these Mega Glow highlighters. This one is in Crown of My Canopy, which is more of a kind of, I don't know, like I think of it as kind of a gold, rosy gold. And then there is this Blossom Glow, which is more of a pearlescent kind of light gold, which is nice. They're both actually really good. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take this rosy gold, and I think that that will work really well. And with the exact same packing brush that I was just using for the gold, I'm just gonna wipe off the gold a little bit down here. I'm gonna take the exact same one and I'm gonna dip into the Mega Glow highlighter and swipe that on just a little bit. And so I think that that is something that works really well. I've seen other people do it and be able to add more definition and highlight to their eyes. And I'm also gonna drag that into the inner corner. I'm gonna smudge some color into my underline. I don't do a ton of that actually because for some reason it looks amazing on so many people and I want to do it, but it doesn't work as well for me for some reason. So I'm gonna take the same orangey brown, and the orangey brown, I'm gonna just, so the orangey brown, I'm going to drag it in. And then I'm gonna take the same brush, dip into the dark pink, and I'm gonna smudge that on as well and connect that at the edge. So I'm happy with how that looks, and I am going to call this eye look good for now until we do the last bit of it. But I am going to go ahead and take just a fluffy brush. This one's also an Eco Tools brush. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off all that setting powder from underneath my eyes, and you'll see that fluff right off. Okay, so that is off. That is off, and let's do the last of it. So I'm gonna take this Wet n Wild brush. I do have a blush, and the blush is by L'Oreal. It's the True Match blush in the color Neutral, I think. And I don't use the little brush that came with it. I think it's still in here, but I don't use it. I use this Wet n Wild. Like I said, it's less dense. It's a much looser brush, and I think it's perfect for blush because I don't like a lot of blush. I just swirl in there, and I literally just use like a little bit, and I kind of swirl it back towards my face. So I just swirl and go. I'm not a big fan of a ton of blush on my face. I have a pretty natural rosy cheek situation, so I don't want to have too much of it. And then once I have this done, I go straight into eyeliner and mascara. And for eyeliner, this is my favorite. So for eyeliner, I actually have this set. It is by Le Pure. I found it on Amazon. On one end, it is a marker, and on the other end, it's a little cat eye stamp, and I love it. These eyeliners go on really smoothly. It does come with the right and the left. If you lose one, you still have an eyeliner pen, but you no longer have the wing. Now, as I understand that cat eye wings are supposed to be sisters, not twins, and I try to get them as close as I can. I literally just take the eyeliner, and you can get it in 2 different sizes. I think I got the smaller one, but it works, and you literally just stamp it on, and you'll see that I have an eyeliner wing now. And so I'm gonna take the other marker. Let me just grab this other stamp. There's the other half, and I'm gonna try to do it in the same space. Oh, that one goes up further. Oh well. So, and then I am going to just take the marker end and go ahead and fill in the line of my eyeliner. And so the eyeliner bit, I think these things are awesome. I think I got them for like $7 or $8. I super love them. I think they're great. And I feel like that's what makes it, I love the way a cat eye looks, and I was never able to successfully get one. So for lashes, I've been splitting my time between this one, which is the CoverGirl Total Tease, and the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. But for some reason, the Lash Paradise, I know everybody loves it. And for some reason for me, like I'm not as big of a fan. I think that ball on the end of the wand on this one is pretty neat. And I do not use fake lashes just because they make my eyes feel heavy. Sometimes I feel like wearing contacts, and it just feels like it gets in my way. That is one layer. I'm gonna go ahead and put a second one on the top lashes just because I do have relatively long lashes, so I like to kind of thicken them up. And that way it kind of is like a fake out of fake lashes. And then I take this ball at the bottom, and I try to do light, that's not light, but I try to do light on the lower lashes. And this little ball seems to kick it up and do it really well. I'll finish up with a really quick, I have this Master Chrome by Maybelline. This is in the shade Molten Rose Gold. I've never tried this. I just got it today. It is fresh and beautiful. And I'm gonna I have this sculpting brush by Eco Tools. No, this one's by Real Techniques. I have a sculpting brush. And what I like to do is I think it was Candy Johnson. Someone told me that what they do is they swirl their brush into the highlighter. They do it on the top of their cheeks, and then they circle it up to their brow bone. And I just always thought that was really, really neat. And let's see how this looks. Ooh, pretty. Again, I'm like kind of blind, so I have to, and I just layer a lot, especially with the Mega Glow. I found that like a little did not go a long way for me. So I had to kind of layer a whole crap ton on. So I'm hoping that I'm not putting just way, way, way too much of this. But I guess if I do, that's okay too. So this is the Master Creme. This is the very first time I've ever tried it, so I'm really excited that I got a chance to, and I do like it. How pretty. And remember, I wear glasses, so I often will go heavier on like mascara or eyeliner or highlight because my glasses will cover that. So I'm gonna do these shades by Milani, these Dreamy Mattes. And I have two of them, which I really, really like. I have the Matte Dreamy and the Matte Flirty, and they are, it's not a liquid lip, it's clearly just a regular lip. This one's a little lighter. This one's a little darker, it's a little more wine colored, but they're both really beautiful. Today I'm going to use number 80, Matte Dreamy of the Milani matte lipsticks. And I'm not gonna put anything on my lips. I'm not gonna line them for the regular lipstick. Perfect. And that is it. So I definitely look like I'm wearing makeup. I'm not trying to say that this is a no makeup look by any stretch. I am gonna use that Wet n Wild Photo Focus to just set it in place. A little bit of an aggressive spray there. Woo. It does have a bit of a scent actually, but the scent wears off very quickly as it dries down. So that is it. So again, I have learned all of this by watching YouTubers, and I think that is so neat and so exciting. I love watching tutorials and seeing the, I like seeing when people do first impressions. Thomas Halbert, I think he's hilarious. Jeffree Star, like his first impressions and like the way he just knows the science behind the makeup is really interesting. And so this is just kind of one more step on my journey of learning how to do makeup, basically via YouTube. And so I hope this was helpful in any way if anybody else is kind of in that same situation. And I'd love to hear any feedback on what I could be doing better and how I could become even better at makeup. After all, I don't consider myself an expert at all. It's just something that I'm really enjoying learning and doing. So please subscribe to my channel and comment, give me any comments and questions below. Thanks and have a great day.